Sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry. 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 If you're offended, sorry.
Hello, everybody. It is our third week here on Sorry If You're Offended podcast. Hope you guys are all doing good today on December 21st, the day before Hanukkah.
L'chaim.
Shalom.
Shalom. I don't know.
I guess let's get right into it. Should we start political? Should we start non-political?
I'm along for the ride.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just start with these two little pet peeves I've been having from being sober the last 21 days. I'm really getting sick of people posting articles on Facebook that are like 7 years old, and they use them like they just got posted like a week ago.
Yeah, that is terribly annoying.
And it's just like the headline, like, "Oh, this is fucking, look at this."
Is there
Like,
something?
dude, this is from like 3 years ago.
Is there something in particular that
Just
made
like
you?
I've just seen like a lot of Trump stuff recently, like not even the impeachment thing, just
like using stuff from the first election?
yeah, just random stuff like, look at this. Like, yeah, dude, I seen this like 4 years ago. Like, why are you still posting this? Like, they just read it, or I don't know.
Well, I think that the problem is that it just shows that people don't actually read the articles.
Yeah, that's exactly. They see the headline, they're just like, share. Like, I want to start making articles like that when you actually click on them, it just says, I'm a fucking dumbass, and then see how many people share that article.
Or the article, like the contents of the article are exactly the opposite of what the headline would lead you to believe.
Yes.
That would be pretty funny.
Or we can like link it to an actual like Pornhub or something like that. So, like, so when someone actually clicks on it, it's something the exact opposite.
I would be interested to see like a study of how many people actually click on and read the articles of the things they're sharing on Facebook.
Yeah, that should be a study that we'd probably have to do, but someone needs to do it. I don't know how we would do it because we're dumb when it comes to computer shit.
Yeah, not my thing.
I guess another stupid thing is just when people like text you or message you and they just don't like check, like spell check, or not even just spell check, but just like read the message they send you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get like cryptid messages from people where it's like I have to decipher what they're trying to say to me, and it's just like, hey, what's up? What are you doing today? But it's like none of the words are words. Everything's broken up. It's like you didn't just like look at what you just wrote me to send it to me. I'm not gonna call out anyone, but there's a few people that do it. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
are you drunk right now and not reading what you're texting me?
The sober side of you is like a crotchety old grandpa.
Yes.
You're literally just ranting about minute
Well, I just
things.
wanted to throw those two things out first. That was the beginning of the week when nothing was popping up on my news feed to be worthy. I'm just like, you know what? This shit is pissing me off. So someone posted, I'll show you this picture, and I guess we could maybe post it on a link on the Facebook, so if people want to look at the picture. Someone posted this thing. I guess there's this thing that women go through, this disease. Maybe men go through it too, I'm not sure. It's called Endometriosis.
Okay.
I guess it's this like stomach cramping pain and stuff. Which, you know, I get it. I get stomach cramping pains that hurt like hell. Probably nothing like this disease, but some graphic artist that has this disease decides she wants people to understand how painful it is. So she did like this picture that looks like she's been stabbed.
What is this?
All over her stomach. And all it is just like cramping. She's like, this is how it feels. And I don't know, I guess again,
Graphic images show what endometriosis would look like if the pain was visible.
yeah. And I'm just thinking in my head, you can't do that. You can't. All you gotta say is, hey, it hurts like it hurts like this. Like, to show a graphic image of someone being stabbed or like actual open, like, I don't know. To me, it's just like comparing apples to oranges. Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna disagree with you on this because you don't know what it feels like. I mean, I have had gout, which is it's like an old man disease, but I've had it.
Yeah.
And it is the worst fucking pain that you could ever even imagine. I would not wish it on Adolf Hitler. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I
kidding.
believe it. But to describe it, are you gonna fucking show a picture of your foot half cut off?
Maybe if I had talent.
I don't know. I would just be like, hey, it hurts like hell. It hurts like times 100. I don't think you can compare like an actual. I don't know, just like an actual physical.
I think you're taking it too literally, bud.
Maybe I am. But dude, I have IBS. I have a whole bunch of random shit that happens to me. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, it's like being stabbed in my stomach.
No, you would say it's like whatever you would liken it to, like I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I just don't.
A fire hose shooting out your butthole, like whatever.
Oh my god, my dog is having trouble getting up the stairs. I don't know. I just think throwing a picture of a murder scene, comparing it to stomach cramps, is a little bit out there. But hey, to each their own, like you said.
I don't get that one. Don't bother me.
So, you hear the news about Lizzo
I have not.
showing her ass at the Lakers game?
Gross.
And getting kicked out?
No.
This was a couple weeks ago, so it's a little old news, but I thought it'd be good to touch on. I just feel, I mean, I get that she wants to be empowering, and she just wore like a t-shirt, like a long t-shirt, and then it just had the ass cut out of the t-shirt, and she was wearing a thong.
Gross.
Yeah, I just don't, I mean, I get you want to be empowering stuff, but I mean, to like physically be on TV and showing your ass.
It sounds pretty inappropriate, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure she's not allowed back in the Staples Center.
Sounds like
a game.
It sounds like an obvious political stunt. Like she got what she wanted. She wanted the controversy, so then she could be like, "Oh, they're just discriminating against me because I'm fat or whatever."
Well, yeah, that's the big thing too. Is people are like, "Well, you know, if it was a skinny girl, no one would be saying this." Well, no, I think I would be saying this. I don't think it's appropriate just to show your ass in public. I mean,
they may or may not be saying it, but I mean, let's be honest here. I think the real issue here is that she's trying to make a statement so that she can be like, "Oh, you know, this should be acceptable because I'm a fat person. It doesn't matter. Fat is beautiful or whatever." And no, I mean, it's like the whole fat shaming thing, really. Unpopular opinion. I don't think that fat shaming is necessarily a bad thing. I'm a fat guy. Shame me. I deserve to be shamed.
Yeah,
I'm not proud of the fact that I'm fat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the problem with everything now, even just shaming people in general when they have problems. I mean, I don't think you should shame them to make them want to, like, hurt themselves, but I don't think they should be proud that they're being unhealthy.
Yeah, there's a difference between, I don't agree with bullying at all, but I don't think that people trying to say that, an unhealthy lifestyle should be accepted or celebrated.
Yes.
I don't agree with that.
I mean, yes, you should be proud to be a person and be who you are, but you should also know that, like, hey, maybe I should, work on myself.
Hey, you know what? Every time I go to the doctor, you know what he tells me? I need to lose weight. And that's, I'm serious. And that's sound medical advice. That's not shaming. That's facts,
Yep. I completely agree. It's kind of like the whole, that's actually a perfect segment where we can go into, people flipping out on J.K. Rowling. Did you hear this?
No. I guess I don't hear anything. I guess that's a good thing.
So J.K. Rowling is under fire for tweeting and standing up for this lady named Maya Forrester or Forstarter. Not sure. I wrote her name down, but it looks like I wrote it wrong because that does not look like a last name. But she is kind of criticizing the trans, saying just about how, like, you gotta either be male or female when it comes down to medically, like,
to get the best medical treatment possible. Yes.
So J.K. Rowling, her tweet was, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live the best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real? ? I stand with Maya." So I'm assuming Maya got forced out of her job because she was standing up for that being a male or female is a real thing. Like, you gotta.
Yeah.
So, just like the whole fat shaming thing.
I mean, first of all, J.K. Rowling is a boss, so I agree with her 100%. I mean, when it comes down to getting the best possible medical treatment, it doesn't come down to preferences or anything like that. It comes down to what is scientifically accurate.
Yeah, and to say that you're not, I'm not this anymore. Well, no, you're not, but your body was, and you need to know that. Like, I kind of, to even kind of throw it on some other things, there's been some celebrities, I think a basketball player and Gabrielle Union, her and her husband, coming out with
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, about referring to their son as 12-year-old son / daughter, whatever. Whatever. I don't think there's a problem necessarily with allowing your kid to express itself however it wants, but I think where my kind of problem is if you allow, there's some people allowing their kid at that age to actually go through the treatments.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. Nothing that'll medically alter them.
Yes. I mean, if they want to dress like a woman and do whatever they want at that age, I think that's fine. But I think when you start doing actual medical alterations, like you said, I think that's a kind of a dangerous road to go down. Would you let your kid get a tattoo at that age? Would you let your kid start smoking cigarettes at that age? Would you let your kid vote for... I mean, there's... You know what I'm saying? There's many things that we don't let our children do at that age because our brain isn't fully developed.
No, I think it's important to let your... I mean, obviously I'm not a parent, so this is just my personal opinion, but it's absolutely important to let your kid experiment and learn and try to find out who they are or, what makes them comfortable and happy. But it's also important to guide them and make sure that they're not
to be a parent,
making permanent decisions based on, momentary thoughts, because when you're young, your mind changes about everything 100,000 times while you're trying to figure out who you want to be. So
think about when you were young, all this shit, I remember going to get my tattoo and go get my lip pierced. My mom did not approve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I went and did it anyways. And then she ripped that thing out of my lip. And then I went and did it again. And look at me now. I have not had my lip still has a hole in it, but I have not worn a lip ring probably since I've been 21.
Yeah.
And I mean, that goes say a lot, I mean, you kind of change your thoughts on a lot of things. I mean, even some of the tattoos, I think you've had tattoos that you're like, why the hell did I do this?
Yeah, I've done cover-ups and stuff of tattoos I got when I was that age. Too young to probably get them, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that's the danger of the whole medical treatment of doing that. It's like, once you do that, there's no going back. Yeah, there's no cover-up tattoo for that. Yeah. You start injecting yourself with different hormones, and you're going to change a little bit of everything before.
No, I think at the point that a person is legally allowed to make their own medical decisions, then do whatever.
Yeah, when you're an adult, when you're 18,
do whatever you need to do. Yeah, but I don't agree with children. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we'll stick, since we're kind of not on the political thing yet, we'll stick with some non-politics. So I'm going to ask you if you've heard of it, but clearly you probably haven't. It just came out, I think, this morning or yesterday. So Adam Driver, the guy that's in Star Wars and
Kylo Ren. Yeah,
he has 3 different movies out right now that all kind of got released. He's in the new Star Wars, he's in the Marriage Story, and he's in some other one. I don't got it offhand. But he went to an interview to promote these movies, and he told them that if they play a clip from his movie, that he does not like to see himself or hear his voice.
I can relate to that.
I can too, a little bit, but this is where I think it gets just a little bit over the top. He actually was doing the interview, and they're like, all right, well, now we got to show a clip. And they showed a clip, and he said, I don't like seeing myself or hearing myself, so he just got up and left the interview and never finished it.
Really?
Yes.
So he doesn't watch any of his own movies?
I mean, I don't know. I guess not. That's what he's saying. To me, I just think that's kind of like a little temper tantrum. I think we talked about it last week about, what's her name? Time of the year.
Greta Thunberg?
Yeah, we talked about Greta. It's like once you put yourself out there, you gotta, you know, if you didn't want to see your face or hear your voice, then don't be an actor in all these movies that are going to be played all around you constantly.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's interesting that he's that, I guess, self-conscious of him, you know, and obviously he's very, very famous and, you know, making a lot of money right now if he's in 3 movies consecutively, but concurrently, I mean. But I don't think that he's questioning the fact that he put it out there. It doesn't sound like it. It's just that he can't tolerate seeing it himself. That's very odd to me.
Yeah, it's odd to me too. But I mean,
I hate the sound of my own voice, but here I am making a podcast. So
yeah, and we listen to it, and I mean, everyone hates that sound of their own voice.
That is a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you put headphones on and hear yourself, you're like, wow, I sound like a complete weirdo.
Absolutely.
But again, I just think once you go, why go to that profession? Like, I don't know. I get that.
Because he's good at it.
I get that you're good at it, man. But it's like, it's almost like, all right, I want to be a cop, but I don't want to have to deal with like pulling anyone over or arresting anyone. I just want the power. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, why would you go into a field where you know you're gonna have to see yourself? You're gonna have to hear yourself.
Obviously, he doesn't. Because he's very, very successful.
Oh, he definitely sees himself and hears himself. You don't think that he's watching TV, watching the football game, and then it shows a clip of it? Dude, he's everywhere. You can't.
Maybe he turns off the TV. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's very weird.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I think we just live in this soft world now where everything offends everyone.
Oh, we definitely live in a very soft world.
And he gets so offended that he's going to leave an interview promoting his movies. It just, to me, it makes no sense. I don't know.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It's very strange behavior. Whoa, what a headline. Strange behavior from Hollywood actor.
Yeah. That is a very strange behavior.
Yeah, I agree. You'll get no arguments from me.
Other than that, I guess let's kind of move to some of the little bit of political things.
Lay it on me.
Trump get impeached.
Yeah, and obviously that's the big topic of the week, right?
Yeah, and supposedly everyone that we went to school with and after us and everyone on Facebook never took American government class.
Or they didn't pay very good attention.
I guess not. Newsflash, this has to get passed through the Senate, and it will not.
No, there's no chance of it passing the Senate. That would be the most shocking thing to happen politically and
ever
since JFK got assassinated. Probably it ain't gonna happen. But I think the really interesting thing about the whole thing is that exactly what you were talking about it's what has happened. Like the day that the impeachment passed in the House of Representatives, Trump's approval numbers actually went up. Yeah.
And he's gonna win 2020, ladies and gentlemen. And you can thank Nancy Pelosi,
most likely,
in the House for that. You could also thank our candidates that are running, because they're just making a complete mockery of each other on these debates.
It's sad, really, because the Democrats have just given Trump the country for 8 years now. I mean, they gave it to him 4 years ago when they screwed Bernie out of his nomination. You know, we talked about that before. Yep. And now they're giving it to him again with this political circus of a primary. Too many candidates, too much attention divided, too much controversy. They're instead of just picking one or two strong candidates, they got this whole circus, and all it's doing is dividing the party. And I'm afraid that you're right, that he probably will get reelected.
I mean, there was a couple congresswomen here. Alyssa Slotkin, she won actually in a red district, and she had to go up and talk to the district about how she signed off and was going to pass the impeachment.
Yeah.
She went in front of the town hall and
didn't go well.
Did not go well for her. I don't think she's going to get reelected next time. So, I mean, you kind of just shoot yourself in the foot. Like, I get that you might not like this guy and you really want him out of office and you don't want him to be able to run in 2020, which again, I don't really know why, but I don't think that's the way to go about it. I think your best bet is to beat him.
Well, that's the whole thing, and you know, when we're talking about this, we're not talking about this in a way that is meant to be pro-Trump, because I don't think either of us would say we're necessarily pro-Trump. It's just, if you look at it, what's actually happening, all the moving parts, it's the Democratic Party is such a mess right now. Like, even if they were to somehow win this election, you should be very concerned about how they'll run this country.
Yes. Very, very, very scary.
It is. It's a mess. It's so much division and so much rhetoric and so much. They've spent the last 4 years with their attention singularly focused on getting Trump out of office.
Yes.
That's 4 years
of passing bills.
Yes,
and
that's
passing
4 years
laws.
of time that they could have been using to try and improve the country.
Yeah, everything they're complaining about, they could have been working on.
Yeah.
You know, all this healthcare and all this other things that you want to fix. Well, how about you just work on that instead of focusing all your time on Trump is the worst president in American history.
Here's the thing.
Well, if he's the worst president, tell me why is the stock market the best it's ever been? I mean, you can't deny the economy's doing pretty damn good right now.
Right, it is. Interest rates are lower than they've been since before the recession.
Yes. So, I mean, I get that he's probably corrupt and he's crazy and shit, but
he's got a lot of bad.
You can't deny the numbers.
Yeah, he's got a lot of bad, and he has done some good, you know. But here's the thing that, like, I don't understand about this whole bipartisan political system that we're running in this country, is that we're basically just spending an eternity going back and forth through periods of one extreme or the other. You know what I mean? It's like, so the Democrats run the government for 8 years, and then you get Obamacare, and you get all these social programs, and you get all this stuff going on that they really are focused on, and then it flips and the Republicans win, and all that stuff gets repealed, and then we're working
right
at lowering taxes and all this other stuff that you know they're singularly focused on. And then guess what? In 4 to 8 years, it's gonna flip again,
yes.
and we're just, all you guys are doing is like building up and tearing down the most minute amount of progress that you can, instead of working together to find some kind of common ground. Like, you have to accept. Why don't they accept the fact that it's not going to be 100% socialist or 100% Democratic or Republican, run? It's just, you got to find some middle ground.
Exactly. And now I feel like it's the most separated we've been in a long time. I feel like, back in the 80s and 90s when we first got around here, I mean, we were kids, so we weren't really paying attention. But I don't feel like
it was such
the tension between, like, this group is the evilest people in the world.
Yeah. That I'm glad you said that, because obviously I knew that we would be talking about this at some point. So on the drive over here, I was thinking about it, and my mind started to wander, and that really became my focus. It wasn't even about Trump or the impeachment. It's about, like, how is it that at some point it became completely acceptable and expected in this world that you should isolate yourself away from people who don't have the same opinion as you.
Exactly.
Like, I see it all the time on Facebook. People saying, if you don't believe X, Y, and
just
Z,
delete me.
Then just delete me. Or you're a piece of shit, basically. You don't know what you're talking about. You're ignorant, you're uninformed, whatever. When did that become okay? Because, my whole life, I have always approached it thinking that being friends with people who share different opinions from you is a hell of a lot more interesting than being friends with people who think exactly like you.
I think it's the whole convenient and comfort thing that we're all in with, even with, like, like everything being delivered to us and this kind of, like, just quick and fast and easy. I think it's just easier for people to be able to just surround themselves with people they agree with, so they feel validated and they feel like they're right.
It is about validation, and it's about people not wanting to be intellectually challenged. I mean, it's easy to be friends with people who have all the same opinions, all the same tastes, who you 100% agree with on everything, but you never grow and you never change and you're never forced out of your comfort zone. Scott and I know it doesn't sound like it so far, but we disagree on shit all the time. And we have had some legendary arguments about things because we stand firmly on opposite sides of opinion. But you know what? That's what makes our friendship interesting. That's what makes us be able to have been friends for the better part of the last 20 years, is because, like, I know when me and him sit down and have a conversation that I'm going to think about things a different way, even if I don't tell him that I'm going to think about them a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, too. Is like, I feel like I know that you've said things that have, changed my view, and I've said things that have changed your view.
100%.
And before it's like we're fucking just yelling at each other, arguing over it.
But for some reason, people don't want to change their view. People nowadays seem to have this thing that it's like, this is my opinion. And I'm not open to you even trying to change it, because if you believe what you believe, then you're a piece of shit person.
Yep.
And that's not how the world works. People can have opposing viewpoints to you about things that are controversial, things that are hard to talk about, things that are uncomfortable. You can be on different sides of the aisle, and neither of you have to be the good person or the bad person. You know what I mean? It's about how you approach it. If you approach any topic with respect and consideration to the subject and to the other side, then there's no reason why we can't have differing opinions.
Yep.
But it's not that anymore. There is no respect. There is no mutual openness, or a willingness to consider a different opinion. This is what I think, and I'm the only fucking person that matters, and I'm the only person who knows what I'm talking about, and I'm smarter than you. So if you don't agree with me, you're a fucking piece of shit, and we're not friends anymore. I don't get it.
Do you think it could be kind of drug fueled, like with these like Adderall and all this crazy stuff that kind of just gives his people this like confidence and this?
No, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say it plays into it, but I think that's a cop out. I think it's people using it as an excuse.
Well, I know. I'm not saying it's the full thing, but I feel like that's, if you really think about it, this all started kind of coming up when we started kind of getting these. You start getting people that are taking legal cocaine.
No, I think that we live in a world of entitlement. I think that everybody thinks that they're entitled to everything. I mean, that basically everybody thinks that they're the hero of the story. I mean, and that's all we can really do, because that's our perspective. But
yeah, we're stuck in this little mind.
Instead of accepting that at times you play different roles and you don't always have to be the main character, I guess. That it's okay to be in the background, or it's okay to be on the opposite side of somebody. It's whatever I say goes, because this is my story, and I'm not open to you changing my mind. I don't know how we continue to function like that.
I don't get it either, because I mean, when it comes to like a lot of things, I don't know anything.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know how a plane flies. I don't know how my cell phone works. I don't know why my computer does what it does. I just use it.
I don't know. I mean, I regularly have to remind myself how little I know about things that I feel like I know a lot about.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, and as long as you're open to learning and to growing and to maybe having your opinion changed or shaped differently, then I think you're doing okay. But that's the whole thing that I when I think about this impeachment and the political climate right now in general, is that I think that's why we're so fucked up, is because there's no willingness to compromise. There's no willingness to come to the table and have open discussions about things. It's everybody's so sensitive, and everybody's so secluded from one another, and everybody thinks that their opinion is ultimately the only opinion that can be right.
Do you think this could be kind of like a mass control thing, that maybe even just like a experiment that the government's even doing on purpose to see what happens? Maybe they're trying to start.
I think that I mean, that's getting down the rabbit hole in some ways, and it's a possibility, yeah. But I do think that the very basic way of looking at it, that I think everybody can agree with, is that both political parties like the chaos. They thrive on the chaos.
Yes.
Because it's easy for them to manipulate chaos. And so they like the fact that the average Americans are at each other's throats. They like the fact that the country is so segregated, because
it keeps them blind to all the real issues.
It's easy to call them to action when they're ready. They're already on the on the edge of their seats, ready to jump off. And I think you've seen that. You've seen that with Trump's poll numbers. Is that as soon as this impeachment thing went through, then his base was like, "Oh, bet we're about to show you what we can do," and people underestimate them.
And this actually I'm going to kind of throw this off Trump now because of this, but you kind of brought up a great point. You said his base. Did you hear that Congressman Jeff Van Drew, since they went through with this, was a Democrat?
I did hear this. I heard this on NPR the other day, yeah.
He's now a Republican because of this.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So not only is his base getting bigger, his own base, but he's actually drawing people from the other base because they realize how screwed up the Democrats are doing. Like, this guy wants to keep his job as a congressman.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
He's willing to switch parties because he knows what's going to happen.
Well, and that's the whole thing about it. And, kind of stemming off of what I was just saying, is that I feel like people who are anti-Trump are like, if you're not anti-Trump, you're not 100% anti-Trump, you're not on this, Trump is a human garbage, shit-talking train, then you're a piece of shit yourself. And that's not true. Because myself, I've said it before, I consider myself an independent. I'm not quite as anti-Trump because I am very anti-Democratic Party right now. Like the way they've been doing things for the last 4 years and probably longer terrifies me. And it terrifies me in their ability to be in leadership of this country. And I think that people like Jeff Van Drew are seeing that as well, and they're not cohesive. They're not working together for the better good of the country, and that's scary.
I'm really scared that they're this party about civil rights and all this stuff, and you vote in one of these socialists. We vote in a socialist candidate, and we start going more socialism. They're gonna have the power.
Yeah, I'm not quite as far that way as you are, because I do like a lot of the Democratic ideology. I just don't like the way that they implement it.
I do too, but I just think I think when you give them all of the power,
I think that in certain areas they're very hypocritical, where they're like, freedom. They're all pro personal freedom when it comes to social programs. When it comes to minority rights and things like that.
But they want to take away the Second Amendment.
But then they want to take away other certain rights in the pursuit of freedom, and I don't think that makes sense. So I don't like that. I think that unfortunately a lot of Democratic rhetoric, it comes down to trying to get votes. It's disgenuine. It's not.
I don't think they really believe half the stuff they're doing. They just realize that that's the thing that most people want. They want to be friendly.
Well, it's another demographic that they can bring into their voter base. It's basically what I think it is. But I'm all for freedom, so I tend to lean more left. But like I said, the party itself, the way that they have pursued this election and the previous election, it's just, I don't know, man. I think we're in a lot of trouble either way.
Yeah. Here's an actually really interesting fact, everyone. I want everyone to kind of think about this. So who's leading actually in the polls right now? Is it still Biden?
I think it's Biden, last I heard.
All right, if you don't think the Democratic Party is sketchy, then just please think about this for 1 second. Biden is leading in the polls. Do you know one person that wants Biden to win? Do you actually know one person that?
No, I don't.
So how is he leading in the polls? I know everyone I know. No one wants Biden.
Yeah,
but somehow he's beating everyone in the polls. Like, just ask yourself that. People out there in the world, maybe you guys know someone that likes Biden.
Maybe
I personally don't.
I get what you're trying to illustrate, but it could be a different demographic that you're not, regularly around. It could be middle-class businessmen or something like that, which is a huge, segment of the voting population. But it is interesting.
When you drive down the street, you see Biden. You're not going to see anybody.
I would like to see how those numbers break down, because like even on Facebook or anything,
no one talks.
I've seen
about Biden.
People supporting more obscure candidates like Tulsi Gabbard than promoting
which I think
Biden.
Tulsi Gabbard is a good candidate.
I do. I like her. I think she would be a good leader.
And I like Pete. And
I don't know about Pete, but I do like Tulsi.
Did you see? I think it was yesterday officially that we have now officially have a Space Force.
Oh man, I wish that would have happened like 20 years ago. I would join the Space Force.
It's here now.
That would have been cool. What are they gonna do?
I don't know. I think they got $1.4 trillion though.
I mean, I know everybody hates on the whole Space Force thing. I don't think it's a bad idea.
No,
honestly,
it's real. Where do you think your cell phone signal's coming from?
It's the last frontier, man.
And most of it's not actually like where people think Space Force, aliens, and coming from different planets.
It's protecting satellites and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yeah. It's our actual atmosphere, like out there. And there's thousands upon thousands of satellites in our atmosphere.
That's interesting. Where are they?
I didn't see anything about where they're operating or anything. I just seen that one of the generals from something came out. And
General of the Space Force, huh?
He's just a regular general. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what his his rank was, but he came out and did a little press conference and said it's official.
I don't know. I think it's cool.
$1.4
I think it's
trillion.
cool. Maybe it's a weird little opinion to have, I guess. But I always think it's cool when anything like that, that shifts the country in historic ways.
Yeah.
Like, why not? It's cool. It's a new chapter. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, whatever. But
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I think the last one was the Air Force that was added on.
Hey, we shouldn't spend that money on, defending actually important things. We should be fighting other countries' wars for them, Scott.
So, I guess I'll bring up some Democrat stuff since we were kind of touching on it a little bit, and this is the last thing I kind of had.
Okay.
I didn't watch the debate on Thursday night, but I thought, hey, we're going to have probably lots of good things to talk about. So the next day I went to work and I played it on YouTube and just listened to it. And there was a couple times when I actually had to stop, pull my phone out of my pocket, rewind, make sure this actually happened, and then physically see what was happening, because it was just...
Really?
It was there were some things I was like, I can't believe this is happening right now. Most of it, some of it wasn't really a lot of the candidate things. There was one thing that really happened during the debate where the candidates were talking, and I was like, I can't believe this just happened. But I'll start with the first thing that has to just do with the hosts. I think it was CBS and Politico were the ones doing it. It was in Los Angeles. They had, before they even did the interview, they had the 5 people, sitting there talking about what they think's going to happen and all this stuff. And they had this Asian lady, and her mic was so hot. Anytime she would say something, it would have a delay in it, and everyone else's mic was fine.
Yeah.
And they would they would talk for 5 minutes or whatever, and then it would go into the debate, and then commercial break would come, and they would come back and then ask them what do you think would happen, and they never fixed their mic. I was like, how is this? I get this is not political at all, but I'm just how are you, this huge corporation, and you can't?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's pretty bad that it happened during a debate. But I do love I love a good hot mic situation. If you're watching a hockey game or a football game, and you just hear the referee yelling at the players, or hear random cuss words. I don't know. I think it's cool. I would pay for any kind of live entertainment where you actually got raw and unfiltered version of it. I'd pay for that.
So speaking of hot mics, so then when we actually got into the debate, I can't remember exactly what the question was about. I actually got it on here, the time though, if you guys want to go up and look it up. It was the super long one that was 5 hours, where they started before the debate and everything. But at 4 hours and 54 minutes and 15 seconds, one of the hosts asked Pete Buttigieg and Steyer, is that one of the guys too? I don't know. One of these guys too that's running, asked him a question, but they started with Steyer, and as Steyer was answering his question, you could hear the debate or the host mic still on. She got word from up ahead, and you could hear her say, "You said don't call on Buttigieg?"
Really?
Yes. You could clearly hear it.
Shit.
You said don't call on Buttigieg. So they're trying to snub his answers out.
Dang.
Hot mic. I was like, I can't believe this just happened.
That's the kind of stuff I was talking about with the
Bless you.
Thank you. With the whole Democratic National Convention.
Yes.
It's crazy how they definitely try to engineer certain candidates to win.
Yes, and that's why the whole Biden thing, I think it's just, I don't know.
Why would you? I don't know.
Also during the debate, it is Steyer, because this happened to Steyer too. The lady, it's pretty sure it was the same lady. She looks directly at Steyer and refers to him as Andrew. She asks him a question and then refers to him as Andrew Yang, and then Andrew Yang goes, "I'm over here. Hey, I'm over here," and then he starts going, clapping to get the lady's attention. She's like, "Oh." She's like, "Oh, I actually meant to ask Mr. Steyer. I didn't mean you, Mr. Yang." It was just really.
That's hilarious.
You're looking at this guy, you call him Yang, And Mr. Yang's over on the exact opposite side of the stage, like, hey, I'm over here, and he just like claps at her. I thought that was hilarious, like calling her like a dog, like, hey, I'm over here.
Andrew Yang is the one who wants to give everybody like free money,
A stipend,
right?
yes, $1,000 stipend. I mean, I don't know if I really
I like
agree
that
with
guy.
it, but I think he's a smart guy.
Oh no, I think it's a terrible idea. I mean, I would love $1,000, but
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's thinking outside the box.
Yeah, as I said, I think that's this whole thing is he came from like the Silicon Valley, like, you know, he sees where our future is kind of going with, you know, autonomy and everything and us losing jobs. And I think it could work, but I also think people lose value once they just get free money. They start getting even more lazier. But I don't know. That's a different issue we could talk about at a different time if Andrew Yang ever becomes president and gets a
maybe we can have an
stipend.
episode where we just like talk about the candidates, because I don't know, honestly, I don't know much about them. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'd definitely be down to do that.
Maybe once the field thins a little bit.
And if anyone wants to watch Andrew Yang clap at a lady, that was also in the same video. It was at 4 hours and 39 minutes and 59 seconds. I guess the last thing I really got to bring up that I got from the debate, and it's the last topic I guess I can throw another topic in there we forgot last week, but
Okay.
the debate, back to the debate, there was a point where Buttigieg literally sent Elizabeth Warren to the burn ward, dude.
Oh yeah.
She better be checked for fucking burns, man. As
It's
soon as he
a good thing she has all those Native American healing remedies.
They all kind of like, they try to like team up on him. Like all of them were trying to go at him because he had a private dinner in a wine cellar. The wine was $900 a bottle.
So what? Did he pay for it?
No, but that was he got donated money from billionaires.
Who cares?
Exactly. So they're all trying to say that he's doing all this and, oh, you're taking money from billionaires. We all promised up here that we wouldn't take money and we'd only get money from the people that can't afford it. But besides that point, so she tries to do this to him and like make him look bad. And he literally just instantly comes back. He's like, all right, well, just so you know, Forbes came out with an article that I'm the only person up on this stage that is not a millionaire or a billionaire. And he keeps going on about how if he wasn't allowed to be in a room with millionaires and billionaires and accepting their money, he wouldn't be allowed on the stage to even debate with them.
Right.
And as soon as he said that, you could just hear the whole audience just go,
Yeah,
people were cheering.
It's political gatekeeping.
Yep. And then Elizabeth Warren tries to come back at him, and I just thought it was a really good comeback for him. And I should have wrote down more of the stuff he said. But
Well, it's good. It sounds like he he went right at the Democratic dirty laundry. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, let's not try to cover it up and act like we're better than everybody else.
Yep.
It's like, no, you guys are just as bad as the people that you're complaining about.
Yeah, and he brought up the fact that like Elizabeth Warren is where she is because she used to accept
Right.
money from all those people
Right.
that she won't accept it from. Well, I don't do it anymore. Yeah,
But you did it.
you did it, and that's how you got all your money. That's how where you're at right now.
Hey, she doesn't do it anymore, and so that should make it okay, right?
Yeah,
Just
Yes.
like, and the same people who support her are the same people who hate Mike Vick.
yeah.
Just saying.
And I don't know.
That's a callback.
I get that people like her and stuff, but she just really upsets me because any of the debates I watched or listened to, it's like, all right, you got 45 seconds. I know you can go over a little bit, but then she has like the moderators like, hey, Miss Warren, and she just goes
Yeah.
and just goes
Yeah.
and just goes. And
I
it's
never
like,
liked
dude,
that. I always thought like, I thought this previous years, like when they're doing the debates, when your time is up, they should just shut your mic off.
yes, exactly.
You shouldn't be allowed to finish making your
Yes.
point.
No, you're done. And and they actually brought her up a couple of times. They asked her a few questions that she never answered. You know what I'm saying? They asked her a direct question, and
Sounds
she beat
like-
around the bush, and then they were like, "Well, you never answered the question. Can you answer?" And then she just say the same exact thing she said before. And they're
Sounds
like, "All right,
like,
well, we're going to the next person because you're not answering the question."
Sounds like another political office holder who we were previously discussing. That's how interesting that is, huh?
Yeah.
It's because they're all the same, folks.
Get used to it. All right, I guess we can try to get off this political thing, and
that would be
be good. We're gonna touch on a really touchy subject for some people. So I think it was last week and a half ago, I sent you an article. And in the message I said, should we even touch on this in our podcast? And it was about this fund, this drive to give trans people coats for the winter because they're homeless. I don't know how you really feel about that. I think that, yes, trans people should get coats, and if they are homeless, but I think once you exclude yourself from everyone else, you're kind of screwing yourself over. Like, their big thing is, well, people don't want to donate to trans people, so they won't give trans people coats. All right, well, you think they're gonna give them coats if you let them know that you're trans? Like, the people that would donate to them. I get that, but I feel like if you just went to a normal shelter, don't ask, don't tell, just show up like, hey, I need a coat. Yeah, they're gonna get a coat.
I think that you're explaining it poorly. It's making you sound a little worse than what your message is, because I agree with you 100%. So the issue is not that they're having this drive to give trans people coats, homeless trans people coats. The issue is, why are they further separating trans people? Wasn't it just a drive to give homeless people coats? Because people don't fucking know or care where their donations are going. They don't do it for that reason anyway. Like I feel like it's more just trying to get a little bit more publicity by calling it, a drive to help the trans homeless, instead of just saying a drive to help the homeless.
Yes.
So in that way, while people could argue that it's a good charity, it's actually exploitation of trans people.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very good point. I don't know. I guess I did go the wrong way about it, but I just think.
Well, no, I think that that's your underlying point, is that they should be able to go to any homeless shelter and get help, and that you shouldn't have a trans specific. You shouldn't exclude them and have to have a trans specific shelter or coat drive or anything like that. And I agree with you, and I think that, again, when you post it on Facebook and you market it in this way, it's kind of exploitation. You're using it to get extra publicity.
Yeah.
Even if it is, and hey, here's the thing, even if it is for the best of intentions, exploitation is exploitation. So.
Yeah, it's for the best intentions, but look what it did.
Yeah.
Because the few people I seen on it, it was exactly that. All it did was start an argument that didn't need to be started. You had people that actually came out of the woodwork saying, screw trans people and screw this, and then you had people just like, well, they deserve it, and like, yeah, they do deserve coats, they do deserve all this other stuff. I mean, I think the numbers were pretty staggering. Don't get me wrong. I think they said 1 in 5 transgender people will become homeless. So I mean, that is a big number. But again, like you said, they're just exploiting them.
Yeah. That's a terrible statistic, and there should absolutely be resources for those people, and there should be help available to them, but they shouldn't have to be excluded from receiving the same help as everybody else. I think that's the point you're trying to make, right?
Yeah.
And then I agree with you, yes.
And again, I also am making the fact that when they did do that, it kind of just puts them out on Front Street, where like people can just show up and
take advantage.
Yeah.
I think anytime you give people the opportunity to take advantage of any situation, people are going to take advantage of any situation. So I agree with you to that point too.
So other than that, I don't really got anything. I didn't see any more stories this week. I think
it's kind of a slow week with the holidays coming up.
Christmas is coming, and people are, I guess, kind of feeling a little merry.
What's that like?
I don't know. I'm Jewish.
You have a Christmas tree in your living room?
That's Rachel's. I also have a menorah up there too. Don't let the Christmas tree fool you.
All right, so.
I guess that's pretty much it. I guess we could just leave with a good message. Be friendly to everybody, guys.
Yep, hope everybody has a good holiday season. Try to make the most. I know it's a very depressing time of year for a lot of us, but try to look at the good things in your life and appreciate the friends and family that you have. things can always be worse, right?
Yep, and respect your elders, and I mean, seriously, the other day I went out and
No,
I seen
I
some,
fucking hate that. No.
What?
Respect your elders if they deserve respect.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like just old people in general. Like I went out the other day and there was this old lady could barely walk out of the building. People were just walking by her, just.
Well,
I gave her a helping hand. I walked her to her car.
You don't just blatantly disrespect anybody, but respect is earned. So respect your elders if they deserve respect.
Yeah, but
don't disrespect anybody, but respect those who deserve respect, regardless of age. That's my message. Merry Christmas.
I guess my message is just respect people. Respect people that you don't agree with, because you're not going to get respect back from them unless you give respect to them. I don't think we're going to solve any problems yelling in people's faces. I think, again, this kind of conversation we're having, is a good thing. Just a random, we'll just keep touch on this before we leave. That post, I made a post the other day about the whole Trump thing, and we had some comments on there that people went off on tangents that they shouldn't have and said some things that were crazy. But at the same time, after that, then you had people attacking that person for his views. Like, come on, just, if anything, don't. And some of it eventually got to not even his views. They were just attacking him as the person they thought he was. Like, they were saying some pretty, I don't, true, if it's true or not, I don't know. I just don't think you should be.
Well, you should be able to, the point is you should be able to discuss anything without having to resort to a personal attack about somebody's character.
Exactly.
You can attack somebody's opinions, but you don't have to attack their character
exactly.
or their who they are as a person in order to win an argument. That just makes you look ignorant.
I completely agree. So, I mean, I just think, respect people and try to have an open mind and be a good person.
We're coming into a new century. We're 2 weeks away from 2020. So let's look at it with 2020 vision.
Yep, 2020.
Ooh.
I need to go get my eyes checked. And a lot of other people do too.
No, but for real, let's try, let's try to come into the new year and hopefully we achieve our goal this year of helping to help people to have an open mind. That's all. That's the point of this whole podcast, is believe what you believe and believe it thoroughly, but also be open to discussing your beliefs and listening to somebody else's. It doesn't hurt anything.
Mm-hmm. And again, if there's anything that we've talked about on here that you guys, don't approve of or disagree of, we would definitely love to hear from you so we could have this discussion. In fact, some of those people on that post and want to come on as guests and talk with us, and I think we're going to have a couple of them on.
Yep, we'll probably start that early next year once the podcast gets rolling.
Yep. And let them come express their opinions, and then again, we might even have a couple people come on that disagree, but we don't want it to get out of hand where it's just people yelling at each other. So just have a good time and have an open mind.
That's it.
And if you do want to contact us, we have our Facebook page up. We got a few likes coming in now. And our email to contact us, if you don't go through our Facebook page, is sorryifyou'reoffendedpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks, Daisy, for helping out.
And if you guys like this at all, make sure you rate it and subscribe.
Yes, please rate, subscribe, like our page, share it, tell people about it. And we will see you next week. Merry Christmas. I'm Scott.
And I'm Drew.
And that's Lucy.
Take care, guys.